And when do I determine to monetize or just keep growing with the content?
So I think this is what's great about Q&A. Hold the mic. Can you afford to continue to not monetize?
I could.
Because?
Because I go to school and I'm just...
You don't need a lot of money.
I don't know.
You keep it
It's like
humble.
Yeah.
I think you hold your breath as long as possible because you build more equity. You know, the second you go in for the ask is the second that you're giving away the leverage. When you're giving, you're gaining leverage. That's why I have so much leverage with you. When I'm giving, I build up leverage. I hate when I come out with a book every 2 or 3 years and I'm like, can you guys buy books? I'm like, I hate it. I have a goal, I have to do something, but I hate that month or two. And then people are like, Garyvee, you've changed. I'm like, shit, this shit again? You know, I hate that month. The biggest problem, man, that a lot of people here that are not kids make is when they start getting into a little bit of money, they start spending it on dumb shit, which then forces them to have to make more, which means then they get into short-term behavior and they continue to take leverage and give it to the other person, which makes them a sleazy salesperson one way or the other over time, and then they lose. So I would say wait as long as possible. You know, if you were 34 years old and lived with 4 roommates in the basement of somebody's home in the suburbs of Salt Lake City, I'd be pumped with you because that means you're holding your breath. Dude, I was 29 years old and lived in a $2,000 a month rent apartment in New Jersey, which by the way, Jersey rents are different than here, right? And like, had nothing, had like a car, Jeep Cherokee, and had built a business from 3 at that point to 40 million in revenue and was paying myself $49,000 a year. I don't give you advice that I didn't take. Like all these 23-year-olds on Instagram, like who wanna buy watches and go on private jets, like when I make fun of that, it's not because I'm jealous. It's not because I want to rag on somebody or compete, because it's fucking stupid. Like, do you understand? Do you understand what you could do with that $5,000? You could reinvest it into your business. The reason Wine Library grew so fast, why do you think VaynerMedia is growing so fast? Everyone's like, why is VaynerMedia growing so fast? It's because I reinvest in the business. It's because I put the money into the business. Like everybody wants to build a business. You know how many people here want to build a business or a personal brand so they can buy stuff with it? Like, you know, that thing I said the other day on the vlog, right? Like, I don't want to buy a private jet like everybody tells me to do when they see that I'm wasting an hour on an extra commercial flight because I want to buy the New York jets. You know what I mean? And like, yeah. All this behavior, my man, is predicated on insecurity. You know why 24-year-old dudes buy watches? Because they're not confident and they need that to get a girl. Like all those dudes that are flashing on social media, I look at them like insecure, like not real confident, you know, puffed up fake. So, you know, it's the same old thing. It's the same reason people buy followers on social, guys. And some of you did it because one of the people I looked at last night that's here with the hashtag bought it. You know how I know? You can't have 800,000 followers on Instagram and get 27 comments and 94 likes. I ended my talk with it, which is the worst business is to sell to losers, and I promise you there's a stunning amount of people here who try to sell to the bottom feeders. And you never trick winners. When people DM me and they're like, yo, Garyvee, check me out, I'm killing it, and they've got 900,000 followers on Instagram, but they don't actually have it, I reply, no, you aren't. And then their feelings are hurt. And it makes me feel awesome. Hold your breath, keep building for the audience, bring them value. You know what your next Instagram post should be instead of taking $400 for a sponsored ad? Why don't your next Instagram post be, what can I do for you guys to make this account better? And then read all the comments and then act on them.
My question is, what are the biggest mistakes you see young entrepreneurs make when starting their own company or app and stuff like that?
To generalize, Sergey, the biggest mistakes are, number one, especially in the tech world we live in now, they're not actually building businesses. They want to raise money. Like, let me just remind everybody, how many people here have raised money for their business? Raise your hands, right? Big thing for you guys. Like, it doesn't take a hero to lose money each month. Everybody can do that. So, biggest thing, Sergey, is I have a lot of, and I'm involved in a lot of these businesses, they raise money, they're losing money each month. They're not actually building a business, they're building a financial arbitrage machine. They're trying to hit metrics to get to the next round of funding. Huge mistake, especially if the macroeconomic climate collapses, which 8-9 years in, and you guys have been hearing it from me, right? So I brought Tony Robbins on the show to talk about Wall Street, and that more so than the thing that you would think that me and him would talk about, because I want to get this in your mind. It can't last forever. That's number one. Number two, kids are impatient. Everybody's impatient, kids are triple impatient, because you're in that part of your life where you want to prove everybody wrong. Right? You're in that place where you're gonna show dad that you're right and he's wrong. You're gonna show your friends that you're special. Everybody, there's that video from the other day that I put as a separate piece of content today, that call I had. How many people saw the Ask Garyvee where I talked to Taylor for like 20 minutes? Raise your hands. The reactions on this video are so insane. Sure, you watched it. That's what young entrepreneurs are making a mistake of. She's got nothing going on at 22 and she's telling me she's gonna be a millionaire at 25. How? You guys make up dumb shit. So, impatience and lack of actually building a profitable business, lack of practicality, lack of experience. You've heard me say, many of you heard me say, I built my dad's business from 3 to 60 million. It should have been 200 million because I figured out AdWords before anybody else, but I didn't put all my money into AdWords because I was doing direct mail and radio and television because I didn't have the experience to know that when you've got the best hand, you put all your money on it. I thought I had to do everything. Now that I know that at 41, I am putting all my money into Facebook and Instagram influencers because that's the best hand, and I'll milk that. And when it changes, I'll adjust, but I'm not gonna hedge, which is why I've been so loud.
When I look at my career, your career, the way it's actually presented, you have one passion. What I'm thinking is, I saw your passion with wine.
Yes.
Now I see your passion with VaynerMedia.
Yes.
Crain. Is it possible we have more than one passion?
Of course.
It comes down to something inside of us.
I also think, my man, that you have to ladder it up. My passion is to communicate complicated things in average Joe talk. That's why I won in wine. Wine's complicated, right? How many people know somebody that's really into wine? Raise your hands. Great. So 80% of you know that once somebody learns a lot about wine, they become a straight douchebag. Right? Like that's what happens. So me being Jersey and being into wrestling and sports, I'm like, you know what? I know the most about wine, the most. I know as much as the top 10,000 people about wine are in that mix. Let me talk to people about wine the way we talk about everything else. Let's not put wine on a pedestal. Now, what I do really well, for whatever reason, I figured out somewhere around that time when I started Wine Library TV, the way I communicate, and I truly believe what I'm about to say, because I don't think I was very well educated, and I've always lived in my own bubble, I think I say the same stuff that has always been said. I just think I say it a different way because I don't know the other way that it's actually said like everybody else says it. And I think that for some reason, that helps people because it's just a different way. And I also think that people feel that I actually mean it. So I think that has a lot to do with it. My passion is to communicate the things I most believe in, whether that's the good values in wine or the business opportunities of the day. But yes, of course we're passionate about it. I mean, I could start a Jets show. I could start a root beer show when I'm off my diet. I could talk about a lot of stuff that I'm passionate about. I don't think you need to be crippled to your one passion. And we evolve. What you're passionate about at 24 is different than what you're passionate about at 33, and it's different what you're passionate about 57. Plus, life brings things. I promise you, if one of the 4 or 5 most important people in my life pass away from a rare disease, I'm gonna be passionate about figuring out that disease.